were the recipient of a $43 million Department of War grant to establish domestic antimony production here in the United States. And that includes mining to refining. And that happened back in October last year.
All right, welcome back inside our Proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Christopher Gertyson. He is the CEO of Nova Minerals. And Chris, great to see you again. How are you?
Very well, Steve. Great to be with you again.
Yeah, a big milestone for the company is the equipment that we've talked about in the past that you had been on order is now on its way. It left the port in Seattle. So just talk about this really exciting milestone as it heads towards Alaska, steaming away, as they say.
That's right. The race is on for critical minerals, and Nova Minerals is leading the pack, certainly in terms of antimony. And so just to set the stage, I mean, we were the recipient of a $43 million Department of War grant to establish domestic antimony production here in the United States. And that includes mining to refining. And that happened back in October last year. And so we've been feverishly working to complete this project. And we've already purchased, of course, earlier this year, all of the mining equipment. And so we've been stockpiling our antimony ore over these summer months. And then over the last 5 or 6 months, this is a major undertaking. We've been procuring and shipping and consolidating all of our process equipment for the antimony production. And we've been consolidating that into Seattle. And that ship has now set sail for Port McKenzie, Alaska, where, of course, we're establishing all of our downstream processing to produce for the Department of War project military-grade antimony trisulfide. And now we've been very, very fortunate. What we've managed to procure is a state-of-the-art processing plant. This plant comes from a major gold mining company that used it as a pilot plant for about 2 years. And then, of course, they've now gone to a full-size plant, but this is perfectly suited for our needs. And it's all the good stuff, Steve. So this is all the Scandinavian manufacturers, Metso, Outokumpu, all the brands and the quality equipment that you want. And it all fits together. So that saves us a lot of time, energy, and money to have to engineer the plant, whereas this one, it all comes in a one-stop shop, ready to be set up at Port McKenzie to get into this antimony production. So we expect it to land at Port McKenzie and construction to commence this year.
Yeah, so you about 500 tons of equipment, as a matter of fact. We're looking at, I think it's 40 shipping containers and the whole bit. So obviously there's a lot of equipment on its way. You're hoping that it arrives, as you mentioned, sometime in September, and then the construction phase begins. So can you take me through that part of it? How long once it arrives and it's unloaded and you get to a site? Talk to me about the construction of it. I guess it's all sort of like a jigsaw puzzle, right? Everything just fits together.
That's right. That's right. That's the beauty of it. So it'll land at Port McKenzie in early September here. We've already started to prepare the pads, the foundation, and do all the early earthworks there at Port McKenzie. And of course, we will report that once it lands at Port McKenzie. We'll report that again. But yeah, now we have to lay some concrete foundations. Much of the plant, the wet portion of the plant, will be in a building. So we've also procured a building. And so what the plant looks like, what we're doing is we're actually running a hydrometallurgical process to produce the antimony, the refined antimony. And what we have there is we have a crusher, screener, ore sorting, and then a mill. And then we go to flotation to produce a higher grade concentrate. And from there, we leach the material. That's the hydrometallurgical process. And once we leach the material and we get the antimony into solution, at that stage, we're, of course, focused initially on military-grade antimony trisulfide production. But once you have that antimony in solution, we can also produce metal and antimony trioxide readily, very easily as we move forward. And so all of that will be at Port McKenzie. And, of course, that's a key strategic asset, not only for us, but for Alaska, because this is the gateway for Alaskan minerals to reach the market. And us being an anchor client there, and in that key location, a multimodal port, you're talking about rail, road, power, the port, of course, airstrip nearby. This is a central refining hub where other projects, not just our project, but as we scale up in the years to come, other projects can feed into that facility at Port McKenzie for processing of antimony. And indeed, further on, the grand vision is a critical minerals refining hub. And you're finding that a lot of other collaborations that we're having with the University of Alaska Fairbanks and these type of things, who have also received critical minerals grants from the DOE and other National Science Foundation and other U.S. agencies, are looking to set up their campuses there to do research and development on our tailings and other critical minerals there. So it really is being set up as a refining hub, and we're a first mover into that space.
All right. Well, the equipment's on its way, and looking for initial targeting 2027 rather, for production. So exciting times ahead. Chris, thanks so much. Good to see you again, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks for having us. More updates to come.
All right. Look forward to them. Christopher Gertyson, the CEO of Nova Minerals.